Welcome to day 16 or lesson 16. I was just archiving and listening to some of these lessons, and I always start off with okay, so that time I decided I'm going to change it. All right, another tips for raising your score. Here's a quick one. Quick and easy to do, and actually you can go and do this immediately. What is it? Call the credit card companies and ask them to raise your credit limit. I know this sounds like insanity as we're talking about bringing down how much money you owe on a credit cards, but by raising that limit, by asking them to raise the limit, this will then lower that percentage of debt that you have on those credit cards, okay? So call the company. Many companies will raise your limit. Some of them may not. It depends on your credit history and your payment history, but if you've had a decent payment history, they may be more likely to raise your credit limit for you. But make sure you don't use the card to charge more because you got in the limit. Let's say you have a $500 limit. You call them up to raise your limit. They give you a $1,000 limit. That doesn't give you a green light to fall further into debt by using those charges. And I know the temptation because I used to think like that. If I got extra credit, or my first credit card, I thought, wow, that was like $1,000 of spending money that I had. Yes, that money has to be paid back, unfortunately, but it will benefit you if you have a higher limit. That will help to raise your credit limit. So don't charge more on the account. What it's really doing in sense is increasing your debt to equity ratio, which raises your score. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have a $250 balance. You have a $500 limit on your card with a $250 balance. Well, now your debt to equity or balance ratio is 50% of debt. And I told you I want you to keep below 25%. Well, if they raise your credit limit up to $1,000, now you still owe $250, but your available credit is $1,000. So now you're down to the 25%. So if you can't pay off all of it to get your debts down, what you can do is raise the limits. It's just a simple thing that you can do, or at least you can try to do. But don't forget to continue to pay that card off. That's one of the biggest secrets, is getting those cards paid off. Continue to use them in small increments and show responsibility. But just because your limit decreased, that doesn't allow you not to pay it off. It's extremely important to get those cards paid off, okay? Also, never ask to lower the limit. You might be in a position where you say, you know what, I'd like to lower the limit because I'm having tough financial times and a tough time controlling my finances, and I don't want to borrow any more money. Could you lower my limit? Never do that. Be more responsible, take care of it yourself, but never lower your limit because that will then raise that debt that you owe to the available credit limit back up. So don't do that. You want to get your credit cards with the highest possible limits that you can and the lowest possible balances. That will affect your credit score the most. Okay, here's another little film from Investopedia about your credit score.
Planning to borrow money anytime soon or down the road? You'll need to know what a credit score is. In short, it offers a snapshot of your personal debt repayment history at a single point in time, letting potential lenders know what type of risk they would be taking by loaning you money. Since there are 3 credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, you have 3 potentially different credit scores. The numerical value of the scores, also known as FICO scores, ranges from 300 to 850. In general, the higher the score, the lower the risk. A lower score doesn't necessarily mean you can't get a loan, but you will probably have to pay a higher interest rate or be approved for a lesser amount than someone with a high score. So what factors can affect your credit score? You may be surprised. Your payment history is certainly important, as is the length of your credit history, any new accounts that have been opened, the number of recent credit checks, and how many accounts you have in use. Yes, this does include all of those department store credit cards offering deals seemingly too good to pass up. Bottom line, Any recent activity on your credit file will affect your score. So what's a responsible consumer to do? Paying your bills on time and not overextending are the best places to start. So when you do need that big loan, your credit score will help you instead of standing in your way.
Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to end this presentation and call your credit card company and ask to have their limit raised, your limit raised. Be sure you talk to more than one person. Many times the first person you talk to does not have the authority to raise your limit, so therefore talk to another manager. Worst case, ask for another. Continue to ask for people. Even make idle threats that you'll get rid of your credit card because you need the limit, or tell them there's an emergency or you're going out of town and you'd like the limit raised. Whatever. Even if you're not, don't lie, but you need it raised. The holidays are coming up. You've been a good customer. Whatever. Don't use it, just get it raised. That's the important thing. Okay? That's what we're looking to do. And worst case scenario, you could always write a letter and request that they increase your credit. Many times that'll get better results. All right, so be on your way, and I will see you on the next lesson. Thank you.